77 years of ashes. The world watches, Palestine burns. For 77 years, a small strip of earth called Palestine has been ground under a machinery of domination so persistent, so meticulously engineered, that calling it anything less than a decades-long annihilation project is intellectual cowardice. The numbers swell, the graves deepen, the rubble stacks higher like a broken skyline of abandoned hope, and the world treats it like background noise. Every few years the violence crescendos and the international community briefly pretends to care, issuing statements with all the moral weight of wet paper. Then the bombs resume, the children disappear, the homes are erased, and the global stage once again returns to its favorite role, the silent witness. A global order that has sold its soul. Let's not pretend America is a confused bystander. Washington is the architect, financier, and bodyguard of this system. It throws billions into Israel's military furnace, then calls for restraint, a word that has become an insult to language itself. Successive U.S. administrations have performed the same grotesque choreography, polished speeches, empty handshakes, and peace plans drawn with the precision of a drunk cartographer. From Clinton to Bush to Obama to Biden, and now Trump again hovering like a returning storm cloud, the script never changes. Trump's so-called deal of the century was not a peace plan. It was a real estate brochure dipped in delusion. It treated Palestine like a piece of land to be parceled out, traded, or discounted, as if human beings were bullet points on a business document. Israel didn't even bother to pretend to take it seriously. It dismissed him with the arrogance of a state that knows it can violate every rule, every resolution, every moral boundary, and still be rewarded. Israel's strategic impunity. Israel acts with a confidence that would be astonishing if it weren't so brutally predictable. It knows no red line exists. It knows every massacre will be rebranded as self-defense. It knows every dead child will be blamed on the child for being born in the wrong place. It knows the cameras will turn away, the diplomats will stutter, and the leaders of the free world will sprint to its defense like obedient shadows. This is what global impunity looks like. When the powerful commit atrocities, they are called security measures. When the powerless resist, they are labeled terrorists. The asymmetry is so obscene it burns the eyes. One side possesses one of the most advanced armies on earth. The other side possesses memories, keys to destroyed houses, and a population half made of children. Any analyst who calls this a conflict is either lying or laundering the truth. Europe, the grand theater of hypocrisy. Europe loves to preach about human rights with the sanctimonious tone of an aging cathedral. But when Gaza is turned into dust, Europe turns into a continent of diplomats hiding behind their own breath. The same governments that rush to condemn every other injustice become allergic to even whispering the word Israel in a sentence containing accountability. They send humanitarian aid with one hand and weapons with the other, a ritual so cynical it borders on ritual cruelty. 77 years of survival under ruins. The Palestinian people are still standing, not because the world helped them but because they refuse to vanish. They rebuild with hands that tremble from grief but still lay brick. They bury their dead, wipe the dust from the faces of their children, and keep walking through a landscape where even the shadows carry memories of airstrikes. This is not resilience, it is forced endurance. This is not coexistence, it is survival under permanent siege. The world's greatest failure. History will judge this era with ferocity. It will not remember the excuses, the press releases, the diplomatic gymnastics. It will remember the footage, the shattered hospitals, the burned neighborhoods, the parents screaming over tiny bodies wrapped in white. What is happening in Palestine is not an abstract debate. It is not a geopolitical puzzle. It is not a cycle of violence. It is a system of destruction maintained through silence, sponsorship, and the moral bankruptcy of global powers. And the truth is brutally simple. If this level of human devastation had been inflicted by any country other than Israel, the world would have intervened decades ago. But impunity is the ultimate weapon, and Israel has mastered it because Washington and Europe built the shield around it. The genocide continues uninterrupted. Not because it is unstoppable, but because the world refuses to stop it. And every day this continues, the so-called defenders of human rights add another crack to the facade of their own legitimacy. The rubble of Gaza is becoming the tombstone of the global order's moral authority.